She's making more, according to him, I don't have the actual numbers, in one speaking engagement than an entire WNBA season, and she don't even have to leave the house. And Clark can get away with charging very high numbers and fees.
Angel Reese could not believe it. Caitlin Clark is now charging $100,000 just to speak for 30 minutes, and the internet is going wild over Reese's hilarious reaction. Fans are calling it outrageous. Critics say it's well-deserved, and the number is sparking one of the most heated debates in WNBA history. But is Reese actually mocking Clark, or is there something much deeper behind her response?
He's been very instrumental in shaping my career, and we had a sports psychologist and a therapist that would travel with our team and would be there for people that had performance anxiety or had, things going on completely outside of basketball that nobody knows about, nobody watching on TV knows about, and at the end of the day, a lot of people forget we're humans. We have lives outside of sports, and we have problems outside of sports. We have a lot of great things outside of sports.
Because this isn't just about a paycheck, it's about how fame, money, and power are completely reshaping women's basketball right before our eyes. Caitlin Clark isn't just dominating the court, she's rewriting the entire business of women's basketball. When reports surfaced that her speaking fee starts at $100,000 for a single 30-minute virtual appearance, the sports world stopped in its tracks. That's not just more than many WNBA players make in an entire season, it's superstar territory, the kind of paycheck reserved for Fortune 500 CEOs and global icons. And for a rookie who hasn't even finished her second year, it sent a clear message. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player anymore, she's a brand. The number itself might sound shocking, but it's not random. Corporations and universities are lining up to book Clark because she guarantees what few athletes can record-breaking attention. Her presence means packed venues, sold-out merchandise, viral headlines, and sponsors fighting to be part of the moment. It's why her fee isn't just about the words she speaks, it's about the cultural wave she brings with her. But as soon as that $100,000 figure hit the internet, fans started asking the obvious question: how do other stars feel about it, especially someone like Angel Reese, who's been part of this rivalry from the very beginning? And that's when the so-called hilarious reaction started making waves online. Angel Reese has never been one to stay quiet when the spotlight gets too bright, and this situation was no different. As soon as news of Caitlin Clark's $100,000 speaking fee exploded across social media, all eyes turned to Reese. Fans were desperate to know what she thought about the rookie-turned-global phenomenon, earning more from a single speech than some veterans make all season. And while Reese didn't mention Clark by name, what she did say spoke volumes. In a recent interview, Reese reminded everyone that this league isn't built by one person, pointing out that the WNBA's rise in popularity is the result of countless players' hard work, not just one superstar grabbing headlines. It was a subtle statement, but fans instantly connected the dots. Many believe she was indirectly responding to Clark's skyrocketing fee and the media frenzy surrounding it. And that wasn't the only moment fueling speculation. Online, clips began circulating that supposedly showed Reese reacting to the $100 Kelvin's news with a mix of disbelief and laughter. One viral video showed her shaking her head and saying, "That's crazy," while another captured her joking about raising her own price. Whether these clips were genuine or just fans reading too much into the moment didn't matter, the internet had already made up its mind. Angel Reese had reacted, and the rivalry just got another chapter. But was this really about the money, or was Reese hinting at something much deeper, something about how attention, fame, and power are distributed in the WNBA today? Once Angel Reese's reaction clips started spreading, the internet did what it always does. It blew everything way out of proportion. Hashtags like #100K4Caitlin, #Reese vs Clark, and #Pay her what she's worth shot to the top of trending charts. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds overnight. Some fans were cheering Clark on, calling the fee proof that women's basketball had finally arrived. "She deserves every penny," one fan wrote. "If companies are paying it, she's worth it." But not everyone agreed. Critics slammed the number as ridiculous and out of touch, arguing that no rookie should earn that much just to speak, especially when veterans like Angel Reese have spent years building the league from the ground up. And that's where the debate took a sharp turn. Many started comparing the two stars, not just on the court, but in terms of fame, influence, and value. It wasn't just about Clark's speaking fee anymore, it was about what that money represented. The media quickly jumped on the story too. Sports talk shows dissected every detail, with analysts debating whether Clark's rising brand was overshadowing the rest of the league. Others pointed out that Reese and players like her paved the way for this moment, yet they aren't seeing the same opportunities. It wasn't just a money story, it was a story about credit, respect, and recognition. And while Caitlin Clark stayed completely silent amid the chaos, her absence only fueled more speculation. Was she ignoring the drama on purpose? Was Reese really upset or just being playful? The silence turned the situation into a mystery, and the lack of clear answers only made the debate louder. By now, the conversation wasn't just about two players. It had evolved into a full-blown discussion about how the WNBA handles fame, money, and legacy. And the deeper fans dug, the more they realized this wasn't just about $100,000. It was about who gets to be the face of women's basketball and why. While fans were busy arguing online, industry insiders were quick to point out something many people overlook. Caitlin Clark's $100,000 fee isn't just about basketball, it's about business. In the speaking world, that kind of money is what global figures, best-selling authors, and top CEOs command for a single keynote. And whether critics like it or not, Clark has already reached that level of influence. Everywhere she goes, the numbers follow. Her college games shattered viewership records. Her WNBA debut delivered historic ratings. Merchandise with her name on it sells out in minutes. When Clark shows up, arenas fill, sponsors line up, and brands get exposure that money usually can't buy. So when companies pay six figures for her to speak for 30 minutes, they're not just buying words, they're buying the ripple effect of her presence. And that's exactly why her fee has become a turning point for the WNBA. It's not just about how much one player earns, it's about how much the league can earn. Clark's speaking engagements open the door for other players too. As more brands realize the value of WNBA stars, speaking fees, sponsorship deals, and media opportunities will rise across the board. In that sense, Clark isn't just cashing in, she's setting a new standard. Of course, for veterans like Angel Reese, that shift can feel frustrating. They fought for years to grow the league without ever seeing this level of attention or money. Now, a rookie comes in and instantly changes the game. But that's the power of a cultural phenomenon. And whether people love or hate it, Caitlin Clark is that phenomenon. Still, this story isn't just about business. It's also about how fame changes relationships, rivalries, and respect inside the league. And as we're about to see, the $100 Kelvin's fee might be the spark that exposes a much deeper divide, simmering beneath the surface. What makes this $100,000 story so explosive isn't just the money, it's the rivalry behind it. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark aren't just two of the most talented players in the WNBA, they're the faces of two completely different eras colliding in real time. And that collision has been building for years. Reese's journey was forged the hard way. She fought for attention long before the cameras cared, building her reputation through grit, defense, and championship-level performances. She became a household name by breaking barriers and refusing to back down, even when critics targeted her for being too loud, too confident, too unapologetic. To many fans, she represents the soul of women's basketball, a generation that demanded respect before anyone was ready to give it. Caitlin Clark's rise, on the other hand, was meteoric. From the moment she stepped on a college court, she wasn't just a star, she was a movement, breaking scoring records, rewriting headlines, and pulling millions of new fans into the sport almost overnight. Her arrival in the WNBA didn't just raise interest, it transformed the league into a mainstream spectacle. Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's changing the business model of women's sports. That's why this rivalry is about so much more than who wins or loses on the court. It's about how the game is evolving and who gets credit for that evolution. Veterans like Reese look at Clark's instant fame and see a system that rewards one player for what dozens have spent years building. Clark's supporters see a generational talent who deserves everything coming her way. Both views are valid, and that's exactly why this debate hit so deep. The $100,000 fee became the latest flashpoint in that battle. To some, it's proof that Clark is overhyped. To others, it's proof that women's basketball is finally being valued the way it should be. And caught in the middle are players like Angel Reese, who helped pave the way for this moment, but now have to watch someone else stand in the spotlight they helped create. But here's the twist. For all the noise about rivalry, both women are actually pushing the same thing forward, the future of the WNBA. And the league is now facing a critical question. Will it embrace the clash between old school grit and new school stardom, or let that tension tear it apart? At the heart of this entire storm is a question that goes far beyond a speaking fee. Who truly defines the future of women's basketball, the legacy of players like Angel Reese, or the star power of icons like Caitlin Clark? Because as much as this story is about money, it's really about identity, power, and respect. Angel Reese has spent her entire career fighting for moments like this. She's part of the generation that kept the sport alive when TV ratings were low and sponsorships were scarce. She's played overseas during off seasons just to make ends meet. She's built a massive fan base not just through her talent, but through her unapologetic personality and relentless drive. To countless fans, she's the symbol of hard-earned respect, a player who clawed her way to the top when the spotlight wasn't guaranteed. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, represents something entirely different. She's not just a player, she's a cultural phenomenon. Her influence is so massive that she can transform an entire arena, spike ratings for a regular season game, and get corporations to pay six figures just to hear her speak. That kind of power is rare, and it shows how far the WNBA has come. But it also shows how much the game has changed, and that change can feel like a threat to players who had to fight just to be seen. This is the tension that now defines the league. On one side, veterans like Reese demand that the sport never forget the players who built its foundation brick by brick. On the other, players like Clark show that the future of the game lies in mass appeal, marketability, and star-driven momentum. Neither side is wrong, and that's what makes it so complicated. And here's the truth, both are necessary. Without players like Reese, there is no foundation. Without stars like Clark, the sport doesn't reach new heights. But for now, the league is caught in the push and pull between those forces. And every viral story, from a $100,000 speaking fee to a sideline reaction, becomes another chapter in that ongoing struggle. But this rivalry isn't just shaping careers, it's shaping the WNBA's future. And the real question is whether the league can find a way to honor its past and embrace its future, or if this growing divide will define everything that comes next. In the end, this story was never just about a $100,000 paycheck. It was about everything that number represents: fame, power, respect, and the rapidly changing landscape of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark's speaking fee is more than just a headline. It's a symbol of how far the league has come and how far it still has to go. It shows that WNBA stars can now command the kind of money once reserved for global icons. It proves that the demand, the audience, and the influence are all real and growing fast. But it also exposes the cracks beneath the surface. It reveals the frustration of veterans like Angel Reese, who fought tooth and nail to build the platform that players like Clark now stand on. It shows the tension between a league rooted in hard-earned respect and a future driven by unstoppable star power. And most importantly, it forces us to confront the reality that both are essential for women's basketball to thrive. Because the truth is, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark need each other, and so does the WNBA. Reese's fire and fight give the league its soul. Clark's reach and influence give it its spotlight. Together, they're creating the most exciting, dramatic era the sport has ever seen. And if the league can learn to celebrate both the legacy and the phenomenon, there's no limit to how far it can go. So, was Angel Reese's reaction hilarious? Maybe. Was Caitlin Clark's $100,000 fee shocking? Absolutely. But more than anything, this entire saga proves that women's basketball has officially entered a new era, one where rivalries drive ratings, headlines spark debate, and every moment matters. And this is just the beginning.